Hello there, it's Shannon. How is everybody today? I just want to wait for a second to let anyone hop on that wants to watch this. But if you're here live, go ahead and say hello or click a reaction to let me know that you're here. Say hi. I'll just give it 1 second and then we'll get into tapping on our potato chip or salty snack craving. So even if you don't have one of those, or if you don't think you have one of those, this is still good to follow along with. Sometimes we may not even realize that we have cravings. Most of the time we do. You know, most of us can say, oh, well, I crave chocolate or whatever that is. But sometimes it's kind of in the back of your mind and you don't really realize that you're craving something. So it's always good to go ahead and tap on it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know, like I said, not everybody has a potato chip or salty snack craving, right? But my plan is to do a series of these so that way we can cover a bunch of different cravings. So like next week I can do chocolate, the following week I could do pizza, and so on and so forth. So that way when we're done with cravings, we can have a collection of them where we can address what most people crave. A craving is a feeling when you think about a specific food. So this isn't just like, oh, I want to eat everything in sight. This is like, I have to have, like for today, I have to have potato chips, or I have to have whatever particular salty snack that's the one that I crave. It has to be that particular one. So if you were to eat ice cream, it wouldn't fill your craving for potato chips. If you were to eat pizza, it wouldn't work. So a craving is when you want something very specific and it has to be that food. So for the craving right now, I want you to, if you have the chips in front of you or whatever salty snack that you crave, if you have that in front of you, I would like you to take a bite of it now. I actually brought Bugles with me, so they're not potato chips. Like I said, it doesn't have to be chips, but something similar, crunchy, salty. So I brought those with me. And you can take a taste of it. If you don't have it in front of you though, that's not a problem. You can just imagine it in your mind and try and imagine it in as much detail as you can. Like, what does it taste like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like when you bite into it? All of those things, and really get a picture of it in your mind, because you really want this food as much as you can when you're tapping on a craving. You want your desire for it as high as possible. So that's why if you do have the food with you, it's good to be able to take a bite, because then, that want is front and center. Perfect. Beatrice has it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this. So that way I can really, sometimes in our head we're like, oh yeah, I think it tastes like this. And then we take a bite and we're like, oh wait, yeah, that's even better than I thought it was. So I myself, I like the salty and I like the crunch. I like that combination of the two things. So that's what I'm going to think about when I'm tapping through the points. And I want you to, yummy is right, exactly. And that's the whole thing. That's why it's a craving, right? It's something that we love. So I want you to rate your craving on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 being you don't want this food at all. It's not a big deal. Which, even if you're a 0 right now, it's still fine to tap on, because it could address a craving, like I mentioned before, that you didn't really know that you had. So go ahead and tap anyway if you're a 0. But if you're a 10, it's like, I need to eat the whole bowl or the whole bag. I want that right now. And keep that number in mind for when we rate after we're done tapping, okay? So first we're going to tap on our, either called the side of the hand or the karate chop point. Either way is fine. For our 3 setup statements. So even though I really want to eat these chips, I deeply accept and value myself. Even though I know I shouldn't eat this salty, crunchy snack, but I really want to, I still love and accept myself. Even though I really want to eat these chips, even though I know I shouldn't, even though I know they're not good for me, I accept the way that I feel, and I am open to changing those thoughts. Go ahead and start tapping on the eyebrow. These potato chips are so good. This is my favorite salty snack to eat. I love the crunchy texture of these chips. The crunch is so satisfying. I love the salty taste. I like when I get to lick the salt off my fingers or my lips. This salty, crunchy combo just makes these chips delicious. I just love eating these chips. The crunchiness helps when I'm having a stressful day. It gives my teeth something to grind into. To release some of the stress built up throughout the day, I can just mindlessly crunch on my chips. When I'm annoyed, the salty taste matches my mood. I can be a little salty when I'm stressed. So eating this delicious, salty, crunchy snack is just what I need to put me in a better mood. But if I really think about it, chips can't put me in a better mood. They're a food. How could they possibly make me feel better? Do they lend a listening ear? Do they give me a hug and tell me they love me? No. The only thing they may end up doing for me is making me thirsty or clogging my arteries. I know it can feel like eating these chips makes me feel better, but I also know that that feeling does not last. These chips don't actually improve my mood. So I think this time I'd like to pass on the chips. I can have them at another time if I want, or not have them again. It doesn't matter. Since it's just a food, I don't have to feel like I'm missing out if I don't eat it. I know so many times a lot of us feel like we're missing out if we don't eat that food right then. We don't have to feel that way. It's always an option to have this snack, to have these chips, but it's not a need. When I'm stressed or annoyed or bored or lonely or tired, whatever I'm feeling, I don't need potato chips or a salty snack. I don't need to eat that stuff. Food will not fix my feelings. What I can do if I'm craving a salty, crunchy snack when I'm not really hungry, that's the key here. It's okay to eat things when you're hungry, but this is when we're eating when we're not hungry. What I can do is take a minute to stop, tap, and figure out what I'm feeling. Tapping will help calm my mood so that I can make good food choices. If I find I still want the chips, I can have some. That's fine. No one said I have to stop eating these things forever. I just know that I can stop at a few chips and not feel like I'm deprived. I can feel like I'm satisfied without eating the whole bag. I no longer have to use food as a way to calm my emotions. I'm capable of feeling my feelings and then letting the negative ones go, not holding on to those negative feelings. I can make healthy choices and live a happy life. Okay, go ahead and take a deep breath. and either imagine the food again, depending on if you have it in front of you or not. If you have it in front of you, take another bite. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of mine. And it tastes different to me. It doesn't taste as good as it did before. I would say when I first started, I was probably at an 8, that I wanted more of those. Now I would say about a 3. So it's the combination of the tapping on the physical points and the talking about the characteristics that you like about this food that helps your brain realize, okay, this is not something that I need. It's not urgent that I have this food, because that's what it feels like, right? When we have a craving, there are times where like, I literally cannot live without this. I have to have it. I'm freaking out. And that's what we've told our brains. Now we need to tell our brains, you know what? No, this is not a necessity. I will not die without having this food. So if you feel like you have gone down a little bit, but not enough, you can go ahead and do that same tapping again. Just repeat the same words, or you can talk about anything that's left over. So if you take that next bite and you're still at, say, a 6, and you're like, okay, I still really like how crunchy it is. You can go ahead and tap through the points on that. This crunchy food, I just love the crunch. I love the way it feels in my mouth, and really be specific about what it is that you like about that. And that should help bring your craving down. Okay. So after a craving or after any sort of tapping, I do like to do just the visualization. So you can either tap or not. I typically, like I said, once you get used to tapping, you kind of just do it. You know, when you're saying something negative or saying something positive, either way, you kind of just go through the points without thinking about it. So I like to go through the points when I'm doing the visualization, but just visualize that you have this golden light covering you from your head, down your shoulders, down your arms and your torso. And you can feel its warmth covering your body, down past your hips, over your legs, down through your feet. And you can feel this warm, joyous, golden light emanating from your body. You can feel yourself putting this positive energy out into the world. And it starts within you. And all of your negative thoughts, negative feelings, you breathe out into the atmosphere, and it just dissipates. All of the stress is gone, not going on to anyone else, just out into the world. And all we have left is the positive feeling of this warm golden light. Take one more deep breath. And hopefully, after that, you're feeling a lot more calm, a lot more in control of what you want and what you need. And I hope that you can feel the benefit of the tapping on these cravings. So when you find yourself in the midst of, I need to have this right now. And I know it can be hard to stop ourselves in the middle of that. You're like, no, I want it. And that's what I'm going to do because that's what I want. It's hard to stop yourself sometimes, but if you can just take a second and stop and think, okay, do I need this food, or can I tap on this? Can I give it a second to see if I can get rid of it? You know, like it's not going to take away your desire for this food forever. You're not going to taste this food later on and be like, oh my God, it's so gross. If you do, you know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's your body telling you that's not what I need. But by tapping on these cravings, you're not going to lose your desire for all things. So we're not taking away your food. We're just putting you more in control of what you eat. So like when I know I like to have a sandwich and some chips. That's what I like to eat for lunch. I can still eat these bugles or these chips. I just don't need a whole bunch of them. And I'm not going to sit and mindlessly eat them. The craving tapping is just going to help you be in more control. So next time you find yourself in that situation, try and stop for a second. Tap on what you're feeling. Am I stressed? Am I annoyed? Am I bored? Am I putting something off? A lot of times we don't want to do something. So we're like, oh, I must be hungry. I need to eat. And we just eat, our random crap that we eat. So try and stop, take a minute, see if you can get rid of that craving. If so, that's awesome. If not, it just means we have a little more work to do. Nothing is an instant miracle fix. So tapping more than once is definitely recommended. So if you find this helpful, definitely let me know. If you have any other ideas of what you would want to tap on, specific cravings or anything, definitely let me know that and I can address those. And then I will see you in a week's time and we'll tap again soon. Okay? Thanks so much. Bye.